Right on.
Well,
I'm stuck in a well. I'm stuck in a well.
Oh, right on. You can make your Timmy. DJ's trapped in the well.
the word of the day is, well,
Well, welcome to another Cynthium Live Hack
You're something like that.
tonight. You're still fooling around, but I'm streaming. It's 8 o'clock. It's time to go. Today, we'll be working on Astro Boy Part 2. And on my desk here, I have an atomic pie that I'm installing Windows on.
Everyone can hear you.
There we go.
Turn that down.
I'm appearing on DJ's live stream, I guess, in audio form.
Happens when we stream from the same time together.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can use the atomic pie inside of Astro. We'll see. It is a bit of a larger format board, but I think it may fit in Astro's chest cavity. I will have to shave down that heatsink. It's a bit unwieldy, so, or else just find a different one. It is pretty big, so we'll have to cut down and make it a little bit smaller. So tonight we'll be doing some more 3D design. I'll switch over to this view. I was working on this today, which is Astro's shin. It kind of looks like a garbage can because I hollowed out all these slats at 22-degree intervals. Maybe I can undo a bit of that. See, there we go. So you can see here, I ended up, if I can pull that out.
All right.
So I was turning this by 22 degrees like this,
We are going to be doing some
and then
console hacking tonight.
adding this piece in,
I
and
asked some people in the forum what they wanted to see, but
just like that, and then
the
cutting it
answer
out.
was from one person, and it was the Commodore 64. However, I wanted to do it as well, but I ordered
Alright,
some
so
D-sub connectors for the joysticks.
there we go.
And
Turn it
also
20
the
degrees,
SD card,
put
but
this
the
in,
micro
and
SD
combine.
because I had one of those.
I repeated that several
They didn't show up
times.
today. They were supposed to, but the company
So,
that does our delivery on Amazon
just like
said,
that.
that
Okay.
their office was closed, which is not true. I guess they just wanted an early Friday. So
Alright. Sorry, let me move things around a little bit here.
Some text messages because I'm a little girl. Yeah,
Oh.
so I think we're gonna have to end up doing the Fairchild today.
We'll put
I'm gonna have to move some things around. This thing's pretty big. So I'm
the chat on this other screen, and then put this up here.
Let me go grab it and bring it over here. And
So I was working on
I'm
this.
super stoked on this too.
We'll
I know
call
that
this the Astro
most
Shin.
people have been excited to see the C64 hack, but cutting up a Fairchild, I don't know. When I used to hack like the Omnibot robots and
So I'll have to 3D print that maybe tonight, and then we'll start working on
people used to get pretty
the
mad 'cause
next-
they got a hate mail, a lot of angry mail. People are like, "I can't believe you took that
the next
apart."
portion.
It's
And I may not need this clip right here. Actually, I may try to integrate the servo right in.
It's like there's a million others.
We'll see how it goes.
Use them. I make them better, right? So I'm going to be doing that with the Fairchild. I'm hoping to not receive any emails from angry people today, or at least this week when the video is on live on YouTube. So
Ugh,
I'm going to go grab it real quick.
I hadn't really thought about that, but every time I take this and click this button to separate things, yeah, I was afraid of that. So I'm gonna have to hit that whole ton of times to be able to adjust this top piece here. But I think that'll probably be my best bet is to actually integrate the next servo into this portion instead of having a clip here, because otherwise he's gonna have a kind of a space where it's gonna be like a large knee, and it'll be a servo, and it just won't look good. So yeah, I think I'll change that up. So yeah, we'll have to do that. hit that button a whole ton of times. Okay, and then yeah, I figured there's this piece in here I took out to cut away part of this bracket. So
Oh.
okay,
And I have my actual office chair here now, so I can.
there, and I think this now can be removed.
Terrible chair back there. And,
Yep. Pop the top.
So, yeah, this is super stoked. You guys can see this. There we go. Okay, so we have one guy at the office here, Valentine. He's our video editor, media producer, and he was here when the package arrived, and he was like, "You're not going to hack that, are you?" Jeremy was there too.
Yeah,
And,
it sure is.
yeah. And I said, yes, I'm going to. So he was pretty upset to hear that. But
Okay, I'm gonna switch over
we're gonna
here
hack it. And we're going to put a Raspberry
and,
Pi inside this thing.
and
And
move Windows forward a little
the
bit.
reason why you're going to see in a second is it needs cartridges, right? And where are you going to find all those cartridges? I mean, you can get them on eBay, but people are holding these things for ransom. And if I have to have kids and sell them to be able to afford some of these things, or I won't be able to drink as much beer. So, to save myself from having to deal with the ransomware cartridge, I just put Raspberry Pis in these things. So last week we did the Atari, the 2600, and I also have my Commodore 64 here. But like I said, I don't have it.
Choosing Home N.
But I do have.
I think this will be the lightest version of Windows here.
So this is original packaging. Channel F, I believe it was 1975. If I recall correctly from, not from being alive, but from reading about it. And I've come across one of these.
Trying to remember what
I remember, but it was
what the difference is between Windows Home, Windows Pro.
So this thing was like, not interesting to me at the time, right? I want to play Super about this. But
I thought it was.
I still remember seeing
Thought it had to do with
so this is pretty exciting.
having Office built in and that kind of thing, but I might be mistaken on that.
So this is not how it came shipped. These cartridges wouldn't have been able to fit in here. This is the original pamphlet, the brochure that came with it. The best video
Sure.
games explained. Okay, so this is going to help us
Upgrade.
understand how this thing works, I guess.
Still Windows, keep files, settings, and
Hand
applications.
Controller storage well. Right here.
Now let's just do custom.
And we have an adapter box. I don't think there is one, but we're not going to need it anyway. Unless it works with HDMI.
We're gonna put it on partition
You know
4,
what, we're going to do that one day. I'm going to go to these adapter boxes.
which has 14 gigs on it.
And I'm going to order one of those HDMI splitters with a button or switch on it. Allows you to switch back and forth. I'm going to label one TV game and we'll hack it into it. That's going to be a lot of fun.
There we go.
So it tells you how to hook everything up. Ooh, look at this.
Says Windows can be installed on drive 0, partition 4. Show details.
I don't know if many of you watching are going to be old enough to remember to know what VHF means on a TV.
Free up space on this partition or select another partition.
High frequency and
Yeah, we have more than enough. That's very weird.
naming conventions are sometimes really difficult or like super easy. Nobody can really make up the
Oh.
FCC. Oh, that's neat.
I guess we'll have to format that
Oh, it
drive
says here that
because there isn't enough free space on that drive.
wrong focus here. It's funny how it goes to focus and stops. It's a television,
Okay.
it's a television accessory.
We have to format that drive before we can actually put Windows on
This
it.
has experience with your neighborhood television sets.
Well, we'll let that do its thing, and we will move over to this guy over here. Okay, so we're gonna go grab another piece that we need.
I think it wants to focus on
Tremendous Bojo, nice.
likes my hand there. I'm trying to focus on
I think if we go to the left leg, we can get what we need is the bracket. Oh, actually, we don't need this bracket. We need a different kind of bracket.
Your neighbors are trying to watch their.
It's crazy how many changes I made, and they'll get loaded in.
With these amazing graphics. Yeah, it's funny because you can tell this is like not.
I was going to try and grab this bracket, but
So
we need a different type.
There's no pixelation.
Excuse me.
I suspect we're going to see a lot of pixelation in a few minutes when we get this thing working.
Alright, looks like we're formatted over on this side, so I'm just going to hit next and let it do its thing.
Hockey and tennis are built into it. Oh, that's interesting. So you don't need a cartridge.
Okay, so we need to, let's go back to our shin, and we're going to import, I think I downloaded it already, so
I don't know what it was though.
we're going to import that, that bracket that we need.
Ah.
Choose a file.
Well, this is neat about the controllers. This is what I read about, is that the controllers actually move forward, backward, left, and right like a normal controller. But there's no button on them. They twist, and they pull up. And they
Where could I have
pull
hid those
down.
files? I think I put them in my YouTube live.
And we'll have to hook up these buttons, of course, to the Arduino so that we can emulate them in the operating system.
Nope, not here.
What else do we have?
Oh wait, there are some STLs here actually.
Controllers for troubleshooting the system. That's neat. I just love these old flyers, just like brochures and instruction manuals and how things used to be.
Well,
'Cause
let's just use Easy Builder and find
now,
the parts we need.
If I give my mom something that plugs into the TV, right, she's gonna understand it, right? And my grandfather was still alive. He'd still hold the iPad up to his nose when we FaceTime. But most people really get the idea of like how things work. So troubleshooting and instruction manuals back then, like this is like one of the very first game consoles ever. If you got one and you opened it up, like you don't know what the heck. There's a game console called the Magnavox Odyssey, and it had an actual rifle that came with it. Not a real rifle, it could shoot bullets, but it was a light gun.
Yeah, lever servo, any of these servos. Oh wait,
A lot of people thought that you needed to have a Magnavox TV, otherwise it wasn't going to work because it was made by Magnavox. So they didn't.
here we go.
sell as many as they could have.
We want
Also,
this guy, P23.
So this is the console here.
We'll just put it on my desktop for now.
This is what the cartridges look like. So this cartridge here, which is
Alright.
interesting, we have numbers. So it's like a library. So you can go to your friend, hey man, do you got cartridge number 3? You'd be like, oh man, I got cartridge number 5. And then, because 5 has Space War on it. Space War was such a big deal that it came on its own cartridge, I guess. We'll have to take one of these apart, see what's inside. I'm guessing some very
Alright, we're gonna tilt this guy up.
ICs, and then we have
There we go.
13, lucky 13, Robo War, Robot, Torpedo Alley. Cool. I did read a little bit about the emulator to find out.
Okay, so we're gonna try to fit this bracket in here, and we want to line it up with
We'll take a look at the code and
this down here.
see what you can do with it.
So
Maybe we can give it, bring some life back to it.
let's see here.
Experience this without having known the hardware.
I think that
This is a
probably,
wow. This thing is heavy.
yeah, I think that did
I think
it.
that- Wow, rob a bank with this. Holy, it's 10 volts AC output, 16.5
We'll align these.
amps. Oh, there's 2 outputs. There's an output red and output blue. So there's a 15
Well, that's weird.
volt AC output on this at 3.7 amps. Do you hear this?
No.
And there's a 10 volt AC 3.7 amp output
Yeah.
and a 10 volt AC 16.5 volt or amp output.
16 amps?
How is that even possible?
Holy.
That can't be right.
No, that doesn't seem right at all.
That doesn't seem right.
But it's AC, I guess, so.
ACs, is that, I don't know. I don't know much about AC. I know that on Murdoch Mysteries, they tried to electrocute a dog or something. It's a show, that's a Canadian show. Anybody from the States watching, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Murdoch Mysteries.
Oh, actually, this has to be flipped around. And
Back in like it's supposed to take place in like the 1800s.
there we go.
Late 1800s, 1900s, early 1900s. I don't know.
So what we want is this bracket
Businesses and sciences.
lined up perfectly over here.
But post World
and that's gonna house our knee servo. I guess I can drop it down to where this hinge is just kind of sticking out. Yeah, it looks alright. I hope that we'd have enough room for that for the servo to stick in there. That's one thing I didn't check actually. Well, I guess we can assume because this is the width of a servo.
This was your RF cable. This would plug into your game box, and then it would allow you.
So yeah, that should work.
So we're not gonna be
Oh, looks like we are 14% done for our Windows installation. Perfect. Okay.
Not here anyway. So this is the.
I guess I could bring this even deeper within there. So this
About the box. This is great. I have to do some work in the box.
so this is just sticking out.
Clean the box up a little bit. And it reattached. Like this is falling off.
I think something like that would work.
There's a few things I'm gonna have to do.
I could probably bring it out a little bit. Nah. I think I'm just gonna leave it in like that.
I should be doing this now. I should be doing this later when I have more space. So I don't wreck anything. And then I don't know how I can preserve the box so it can be stronger.
Oh yes, so maybe not a good idea because the servo horn has to poke out at the same level as this guy. So we're gonna have to pull that up a little bit. So it's just peeking out.
So let's take a look at
That's fine.
the console here so you guys can take a look and see what.
So we really don't, we no longer need this piece anymore. So just so you can visualize what we're making right now, let me transition over to here. So we are creating Astro Boy's legs, his shins, this portion here.
There's a reset button here.
Really, we're creating the underneath part, the skeleton part. So we've already created his feet, which we 3D printed out this week, and it looks okay. Oh, it might need some tweaks. And
covers the joystick.
Sorry, I guess I could pull this a little further, closer to my mouth. There we go. DJ had mentioned that it might be a little harder to walk because of the round edge on his feet, so I may have to adjust that eventually. Either make it just a flat edge on this side, or just maybe at the point that last contact, I guess, with the ground, just at that point, we could make it a little square, and it'll be easier for Astro to walk. Okay, so that's what we're working on. So we don't want to make the shin too heavy, so that's why I have all those little cutouts in there. And yeah, so the next section will be his upper leg section, and we also have to have a number of servos in there to do the movement that we want. So there's going to be a servo that's going to be inside of his body, coming down, similar to Voltron when we made him. I could probably grab Voltron for a second and kind of show you guys. I'll be right back.
Buff that up. There's a few pieces like right here. There's a pretty big notch in there. I'm not able to get that out. And there's some pieces here. But hey, it's from 1975. What are we going to expect today, right? All right. And now for the condition that we're working with, this controller looks like it's seen better days. It's got like a little bit of a split to it here. This controller here looks totally fine. Now, interestingly enough, I do have a controller similar to this, but it's not actually the same manufacturer. It's not even from the same system. It's an Atari controller. It has a button here. So if we need, I don't know if the parts inside are going to be the same or not, but if we need anything, we can always do some comparing. Now, this actual console chassis. Let's take a look at it. This fell off. This is falling off. So,
alright, here he is. Voltron. Defender of the universe. So, as you can see here, Astro will have similar servos inside of his body, like this portion will be
serial number
inside.
396,150.
And these servos will be upside down, poking out.
That's real.
They'll be
How many
attached
units
to
actually made?
the leg servos.
Who knows?
Right here.
The serial numbers always start at. It does look like there's a
So it's going to be
small.
very similar design.
split here,
Sorry if you couldn't hear that before. I forgot that the mic wasn't in front of me.
or one of the pieces is broken.
So yeah, I was just saying that these servos, these two servos will be inside of Astro's body. They'll be kind of hidden in there, and then they'll pop out and be connected to the leg servos. So I actually recreated this bracket in 3D. So I just patched a couple of these brackets together and made this bracket here. I found that actually 3D printing these brackets was much better. You see that Voltron is quite wobbly, and that's because of the ABS brackets that I was using. They're actually not as sturdy as 3D printed PLA brackets. They are stronger and more flexible in that regard, and they don't break like 3D printed plastics do, but you also don't get that as much wobble when you have PLA. Especially with like a tall robot, you want to have it as sturdy as possible. So we'll keep this around and kind of, because we can actually take some measurements as well from Voltron. He'll be Astro will be about the same size as Voltron, maybe even a little bit taller.
It's just a empty console. So if we need any parts, or if we need to replace this bottom one.
So let's see how tall Voltron is actually. He is about 16 inches, and Astro will be about that high as well. I think I measured 16.5 inches that I wanted him to be. We'll see how it works out. The arms of Voltron were a lot of the weight in the shoulder servos right here. But I think Astro's body, I think it'll actually be pretty close to Voltron with just a not as bulky upper body up here. His bodies will be a lot more sleek. As you can see with this figure, his body is almost flat going down the sides. You can see it more on my other Astro toy that I have. I'll show you that.
The serial number.
Yeah, if you notice, his body is just really straight down. I probably will add a little bit of
It's only 135.
taper as his chest goes down to his belt. I'll probably taper that for sure.
We'll switch over to this.
We'll also need to make his costume
Okay, so
area after we do the upper leg, and so that's going to be a little trickier.
something in the middle.
I
Something in here anyway.
haven't really done too much 3D modeling, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me. The arms may be close to the shin that we're creating. You can see this shin is actually tapered down. It goes like it's a little skinnier at the top and wider at the end. But I may have to do that as well eventually on the shin, but I haven't done that yet because I'm just not that well versed in 3D design. So I am just trying my best. Gonna see what I can do.
I think that's what we're up against.
Some of this stuff too can also be adjusted when we go to put the silicone skin on Astro Boy. That's what I'm planning on doing, is creating some sort of silicone skin that can be pulled over his robot skeleton. It's actually in the cartoon itself that you can actually see Astro Boy doing that a few times, where you can. I don't know if you ever see his skeleton portion, but you see him like off screen, like pulling this like lump of silicone skin on the floor, and he pulls it over his body. Yeah, I don't think it's too often that that happens, but I don't know as a robot, I guess he does have to, wash his clothes per se, and his clothes are his skin in this case, which is quite weird but humorous. All right, so let's get back to 3D design here. So what will be happening is that this hooks up to the ankle servo, and then we'll have one of these hooking up to here. So I'll actually copy and paste one of these. Copy, paste, bring that way up here. Kind of show you how it connects. Drop it down a little bit. In Tinkercad, that black arrow is what allows you to drop it down. I think we're fairly squared up. Oh, so something I didn't really think about is that if this guy is way outside, like I have it now, the leg won't be centered. The leg will be kind of offset.
Weird. Very deceiving small head on that screwdriver.
Yeah, I think I'm going to want to offset this to the match down here. So we'll
there's no broken.
We'll center it.
Standoffs on here, so we look like we're in good shape. And look at all the shielding. Wow, they were not messing around. Can just grab.
Okay, see if that fit in where it was supposed to go. Yep. Things are kind of a weird angle at the moment, so I think I'm gonna just Control A, grab everything, and just turn it until it's like, yeah, there. That's much better.
So without bending everything. So that was smart of them to make it like that. This is really interesting the way.
Okay.
Power.
So I think I'm gonna have to raise this up so we have enough clearance for this to move.
Like every single one of these pins.
And then this portion will be attached to the upper leg.
You see that? Isn't that ever weird? Huh. I mean, it's not like we're going to need this, but I mean, it must not have been. Hey, Jerry, you should take a look at this. Does it look like every power pin is connected to...
Yes.
How are they...
Oh, there's the little insulator there.
They must be the handle insulators.
Yeah, they're like wood or something. I don't know.
No, I don't know what it is.
Mica. I don't know what. Yeah, that's interesting.
Small insulators around that.
Yeah, it does look like everything's shorted to ground.
Huh. So anyway, we're not going to need that anyway because... Well, maybe. Who knows?
Our Windows installation is now at 86. Oh, I didn't realize. You guys can't see what I was doing on the screen. I apologize. All right, if you have any questions too, or want to point something out, definitely jump into the live chat and type away, and I'll interact with you and adjust things if we need to adjust things.
Wow, just carry this around with me if I ever have to go someplace dangerous.
I think that'll be enough room for clearance. I'm kind of glad we did that.
Behind me when I did this. All right. Okay,
now. So I think these are all lined, but I'll
everything come
I'll
off?
have a quick
as
look
is?
here. Now that we shifted it by 90 degrees.
Yeah. Must be screwed down. So let's start taking all the screws out.
Oh yeah,
There's lots of screws.
it wasn't exactly aligned. So we will have to adjust this one to go back a tiny bit.
Big of a bit. You might have to go grab another bit.
Change our range here.
Today.
Zoom this in a little bit so we can see how far we have to go. I think that'll be good. Okay, so we can wait. Maybe I will make sure that everything is lined up along this edge as well.
And we have the whole mechanism here.
Let's select this. Whoops.
And this mechanism has to come off before we take the shield out because the shield goes underneath it.
We want to align to that.
I'm gonna grab
there we go. Okay, well, I'm glad we thought of that as well, because that would have been weird to have misalignment like that way. We can now get rid of this. But I guess we can copy and paste that for the next section that'll be going on top of here. I don't want to build it on this workspace because it's just going to get too high and it's going to be too difficult to zoom in.
Oh, there's the...
So, but really, it's going to be probably the exact same as this, just shorter. So I can probably copy and paste that whole thing.
You really need if you can hook up a pie.
And then we'll be dealing with his costume section. I don't know if we want to call that in terms of like
limited, of course,
the robot waste section, I guess you can say.
But once we get the pie running on this, we're going to be able to play all different types of games. We can play Commodore 64.
Oh, looks like our Windows is getting all updated now.
It's going to be wild.
Finished installing. Oh, I forgot that unfortunately, like these boxes that I've created here may cut into that guy. So we also probably want to support this guy here. So we probably want to put a bar across the middle
I'm going to check my other one.
to try to support this guy.
So it looks like my other one doesn't have that broken piece, so we're going to swap the bottoms for sure.
Just trying to think if I'm going to be able to fit that servo
Bottom swapping
in there. I think so. I think it'll go in on an angle. We will have to extend these holes here, these two holes, to go out. Actually, if we look at this, we might be able to get access to that from these guys. So I'm going to pull that out so that
not putting these screws back in there yet.
Alright, so that's, oops.
No, we can. They look like they're the same. I just want to have a bunch of useless screws that we're not going to be able to use again. I think is what we're doing.
I'm going to move that outwards so it's just coming out. I don't want it to take away from this material here. I may have to put like a sliver of something in here, like right down in here, to kind of fuse this piece onto our orange piece a little better.
You know, there's so many different size Phillips heads, and I'm certainly using the wrong one. I have to push pretty hard to get a good grip.
Alright, so we'll move this other beam, the cutout beam that we made. We'll look at it from a weird angle here.
I'm excited to see what this board looks like. We'll see how much of it we can actually save, right? How much of it we can reuse. If you look at my Atari hack last week, I was able to use the existing circuit board and tap into the I/O where the CPU, well, the TIA, the television interface adapter, and another controller.
Pull that out as much as we can.
The I/O. All right, is this going to come apart? Am I missing anything? Oh, all that work. I missed one screw.
Okay.
We, I'm involving you.
Here we go.
You're included.
Well, it looks like our Windows is booting into Windows.
Okay. These have to come
Just
off.
rebooted.
Well, that's easy enough.
Let's transition and have a look here.
Just remember that is reset.
So this is the Atomic Pi board that we're using here.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best to
Let's see what I see
make
in a
it work
second.
for Astro Boy. It has HDMI out. It has one USB connector, but I do have a hub here that I'm using to break out those things. We have UART breakouts. We have a bunch of different breakouts on this side. It takes 5 volts into this. It's actually plugged into the bottom here. So I might get rid of this connector because we don't. It kind of sticks out on the bottom and doesn't really help us out all that much. But that's the way they designed it to be powered up. The Wi-Fi module is over on this side here, and it has UFL connectors to go to these antennas here. So it doesn't have an onboard antenna at all, so you have to have those guys plugged in to get any signal. And other than that, it's I think it has 16 gigs of hard drive space, or I think it's like eMMC onboard hard disk, basically. I guess you'd call it. And then I think it has 2 gigs of RAM, so not that great, but it's good enough for our uses. Loads up Easy Builder just fine. So it's taking its sweet time. We may have to switch over to other things while we wait for that to do its thing. So, but as soon as I transition over, I bet you it's going to boot up. That's the way it goes. All right, so let's combine all these pieces, and then we'll figure out like a sliver we can put in there. We might make it like a half cylinder, like one of these guys. Just kind of slide it in there, and then we might put a bar, or yeah, probably put a bar across the bottom and attach to here, so it's nice and solid in there.
This thing just continues to computer like the C64 wrote.
Okay, well,
that's a big deal. It's interesting to think that there's still.
You know what? I'm going to copy and paste all of this for the time being, and then we'll work on it right after. The reason why is that I'd like to have this guy hanging around here. I want that when we go to make the other upper leg.
Test LED, so they assumed that this would be serviced at some point. Because then somebody would actually bring it in somewhere.
Okay, we're going to paste that, and then we're going to call this Astro upper leg.
Power going to a particular portion that is measured. This is the voltage regulator here. That's a 78 series.
So we'll go back and then to the shin and get rid of a few pieces and try to finish this guy off.
Those are pretty cool.
There we go.
I'm guessing.
So I'm going to Control A and combine everything.
Power out of this power supply. If we wanted to. If we wanted to keep.
Very interested in seeing what's going to happen in this area here.
We might have enough space to keep this and put the pie in it, because we're not going to put this cover back.
Nice. So looks like there's enough space for the screws. I will likely have to like make some cutouts that go from through here, but seems like there's gonna be enough room.
if we wanted to hook up to the power adapter that it
Just
came
see if we are actually
Alright, so
connected,
what
physically
else?
connected from this piece to the
with. How
outer
original do we want to keep?
cylinder. It looks we kind of
You
are.
have to find the biggest, most available.
You know what? I'm
power
just going to
bar
make a
outlet,
piece that goes
because the power
right
bar
here and doesn't go that long, just goes through here. And then I also make that piece on the bottom like I mentioned. It'll go straight across.
Next thing here is we have the joysticks. They plug in under here.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's make this rounded roof, as they call it.
So they're not soldered to the board, which I was worried about because they are
Tilt it up
hooked directly
90
behind
degrees.
So I was kind of worried
I'm
about
going to shorten this up.
Tell you
We don't
what,
need it to
second.
be
But let's just
so big.
look here. And the buttons.
Needs to be fairly wide, I guess, but
There's latches
oh.
for each button.
Oh.
74 series.
There we go.
There's 74 series.
Okay, let's bring this
Logic
way up.
chips.
Way up.
Logic.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
There would be, I guess there'd be some sort of processor on here.
Okay, let's see where we're at here in terms of elevation. Yeah, we're a little high.
Now we're
So
just getting
drop that
deep
down.
into this, and it's unnecessary for me to do so.
I think we'll have to trim that a little bit.
Colors, games, there's no real.
Bring it up a little and then move it on in.
I'm looking at the desktop here.
Looks like it's a bit wide. So let's trim that down a little.
Wow. With only 3 plot colors to choose from, so red, green, and blue, that was it. And that turned into white.
Oh yeah, we need to change our snap grid back. Always happens when we go from one design to another.
Resolution was 128 by 64. Right? That's
Okay. Let's see.
And 102 by 58 pixels are visible because there's 64 bytes of system RAM.
Can't really see it that good from that angle. We'll try a different angle.
At the heart of the console, it is able to produce enough AI, guys. We're gonna have an AI machine here. The first console in history to be able to have player versus computer. That is pretty wild. Like tic-tac-toe on video card number 1. A hold button, which allows you to freeze the game.
Okay. So it looks like we're sticking out a little bit down here. So we're going to adjust the height a little tiny bit.
Controllers, blah, blah, blah.
Oops.
Let's go back to our console here.
So we'll adjust that height to 4.8. Let's try that. And then let's pull this up a little.
Okay.
So it's just touching the top.
Questions we have. Let's take a look at the
There.
controller now, because I want to make sure that we're actually
Okay.
able to
It looks like we're just poking out at the bottom there, which I think that's...
loosen it. That was so this one looks like it's in fine shape.
Okay, let's adjust that. Let's go to 4.5.
It's a little bit loose down here. Let's take this one apart.
And then let's raise this up a little tiny bit. Too much.
Let's get a look and see what we're going to expect from the other one.
You could do this by numbers, but you know, it's fun to use the mouse and do it by feel, isn't it?
There we go.
Okay, so we have that portion, and now we're gonna do the bar underneath. So we're gonna have to adjust one of these boxes. Let's just go like 4.
All of this is on
The
this
width
side.
can be, yeah, that's a decent
And
width.
we have a little place here for the
So,
channel.
and the overall length, we will adjust to something like 60.
That's not a bad idea. Boy, the engineering on this thing.
Okay, let's,
Look at this. So you push down. There's something. There it is.
align these guys up.
Being
Perfect.
Okay, so this.
So yeah, this will have to be adjusted for sure. It's way
Look at this. I'm guessing.
too thick. And then we'll bring that up.
Okay, this is interesting. me bring you in here. So this
So-
center,
Till it's just touching the
you see
bracket.
center piece of
So this
metal,
could be tricky to see.
it,
Going to have to
push down, it
zoom in.
touches this contact.
Ugh.
Okay.
Okay, we're
Pull up,
inside now.
touches that contact. So
I
there's
don't know if that's
the
touching or
conducting
not.
right here. As well
Okay,
is our left to right. Alright.
we're gonna get it so it's like pretty much just
In the
touching
conduction
because we need some space right here for that servo to connect.
is from
Okay, so
connected to get to this pipe here.
it's pretty good.
It's coming from here and it goes through the spring which pushes up against it. So the spring they're using for the recoil, well I guess they're using the spring up here too, but there's a little bit of recoil.
Okay, maybe we want
That
to make it
spring
wider
is
so
also
it hits
carrying
these two sides.
connectivity, so
But it would be
makes
nice if
contact
it's connected to these as well.
quite brilliant.
You know what? Maybe I'll just connect them to both of those.
Very, very neat.
Hopefully it's the exact same on the other side. I don't know if it is, but we will have a quick look here.
See, to allow it to be able to move around in this spot,
It's pretty close.
it needs metal. So this piece of metal has little
Not exact,
sockets
but
on
it's.
the
I think
bottom,
it's good enough.
a little
We're gonna pull
rubber
that in.
insulating socks. So it pushes against the metal here, which gives you
Okay.
that spring back. And what really
All right. I think that shelf will be
is this
decent enough.
lower lines here.
And I think that'll be good in there.
So if you push this in,
Let's just combine everything and see.
and you move it
Actually, I
around,
think I'm gonna kind of see if I can center this piece
that's
for a
what
moment
we're
here.
making conductivity with. Very neat. So I want to clean this
Okay.
thing up.
I think we're looking all right.
I wonder.
Okay, so we're gonna Control A, combine
the best way to
everything,
clean this. I was going to
then we'll have a quick look inside. I think I'll flip it upside down and then try to zoom in,
in the sink,
see how this looks.
but it's not that good. So what I'm gonna do
Oh, what a
instead
weird view.
is just grab some of Jeremy's booze here.
Oh, looks like our Windows is done installing. Just
Take a towel.
see what's up. Okay, it says
And let's just
what region?
spray
Yes,
it
let's
down.
just. United States is fine.
And this will just clean it up. When I say Jeremy's booze, I'm actually rubbing alcohol. He just keeps it on his desk. In convenient reach of me, because I always use it for everything. Oh yeah, look at that. That's already cleaned up quite a bit here. Let's make it a-
Alright, so that's installing. I just had to select the keyboard layout.
Yeah,
It wants me to connect. Alright.
that's
Maybe we'll go through this for a moment. We'll take a break from Tinkercad for a second and jump on over here. If you're just joining us, definitely jump in the chat section up beside the live hack window if you want to ask any questions or have any ideas, or yeah, if there's anything going wrong, let me know. Okay, so we
clean up in the inside of
use
the-
this guy here.
this ground
We
shield here as well,
don't need to connect right now,
just so that
but
we're not going to be taking this thing apart hopefully ever again in my lifetime.
yeah,
And
since
it's already
even guessed
existed
it's
for practically somebody's
it's
lifetime.
not there.
Right? This thing is
So I'm just gonna put don't have internet right
around
now.
for a long time. So
Alright.
this is fine. We'll keep it up.
Free access to Skype and Outlook. No, we don't want that.
Clean it up anyway.
Yeah, we'll just go continue with limited setup.
Nice. Move to this side.
We're gonna call this Astro, I guess.
Videos of people fixing and restoring old stuff. They do such a good job. Like watch 8-Bit Guy. He's great, right?
We don't need a
Takes long
password.
time and it goes through a process, but that's his business, and he's got to do it
Okay.
on TV.
Now,
Yeah. I don't
do
have
more
that.
across devices with activity history.
This is about as good as
No,
ever
we do
for
not
me.
want activity history.
So, huge props to everyone else who's big into cleaning and
Get help from your digital assistant. No, decline.
put this back together.
We don't want any of these extra stuff. Okay, so online speech recognition, we do not need that. Location services, nope.
Right. And this goes here. And then this clips into that. Oh, we already got this.
Diagnostic data,
Put it inside of-
we don't want to send that.
So,
Find my device, nope, we don't need that. Okay, let's
really music.
hold this a little different.
There,
Oh no, that's funny. We didn't even realize we weren't listening to any music right now. Weird.
neither of us are jumping up and doing anything about it. So we're kind of in the zone anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, now let's get this on.
Inking and typing data. No, we don't need to do that. Tailored experiences. I don't need that.
Wires.
And advertising
That
ID.
thing is broken inside, so
No.
we should be able to just put all these
We don't need any of this stuff. We are just going to accept after that.
and then we'll check out the next control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we're in. We're in the Windows. Now we have to install some drivers actually.
Two
So
controllers.
we'll let this do its thing here.
The next step for us is going to be just
Might take several minutes. All right, so we can give that some time.
Right? Do we want to reverse engineer all the I/O of these controllers?
Let's
Or
go
do we just
back
want
to
like
our Tinkercad.
regular? Like, do we want to keep the circuit board, take the connectors off, and just...
So that's the shin. I forgot I could kind of show you some of the other parts that I made. Last live hack we did what I called, I think the right foot bottom was actually this, the left foot bottom. I unfortunately mixed it up. Right is left and left is right.
feel good about itself.
So yeah, as you can see, I did a lot of cutting to get to this point.
I feel like it was able
Just a lot of removing of material.
enough technology
And that's what happens when you use Tinkercad versus other CAD programs.
to
Usually, you don't really go
everything about it.
from scratch. You go from an object you already have, and then you just cut stuff away from it with using shapes, and that's what I did. So there's the left foot bottom.
So, anything
Right foot bottom is the same thing, but here's the top. I made the top universal to be right or left. I put a little cutout on the back of it so that we can pass a servo wire through. And you can see here, yeah, lots of cutting that I did as well. So there's the cutout that the servo connector can pass through. So the servo connector will come up this side if it's on the left. Oh no, wait, it'll be on this side if it's on the left, and that side if it's on the right, and it'll pop out of here. So I can kind of show you that in real life in RL. So this connector here is what I'm talking about, and that's going to pop out right in this section here. So I don't have that designed here. I'll 3D print another one, but that'll pop right through, and then it'll go up the leg through the shin. So we can kind of, try to make things tight and clean and that kind of thing. Okay. So, all right. Well, we might be done with the shin, but we'll go back to it for a sec. Let's transition over to what's happening in real life here. Looks like our Windows has booted up, and it looks interesting. It's not actually, doesn't seem like your classic Windows 10. I'll definitely have to use Edge to download Chrome. But I guess we're not connected right now.
Some progress and grief when we start.
Close all
playing
tabs. It's
action-packed
actually
tic-tac-toe.
like it's pretty fast actually, much faster than I expected.
Okay.
It's much. I think N is a lighter weight system. Okay, so we're gonna plug in our USB device, and we're going to get the drivers. So the drivers for the Atomic Pi actually come from the up board, if you've ever heard of that before. So the up board is another Windows-based SBC, they call them, single board computers, and it had a similar chip on it. It's a Intel Cherry Trail. So step one, I need to install all these drivers. Now this will take quite some time. It'll probably be faster than what it was before for me, but yeah, we'll do some more 3D design while we wait for this to install. Gotta do the classic, accept the terms without even reading them. Alright, so we'll let that do its thing, and we'll go back to Tinkercad. Alright, let's get out of here. This is definitely an interesting design. It looks like a garbage can with a servo bracket inside of it. Actually, one thing we should look at to get kind of like the dimensions right is our original Astro Boy design. What I called frame. So this is our Astro Boy frame. And I kind of modeled it after, actually I'll show you, I modeled it after an existing 3D Astro Boy. So this is what I started from to get kind of the dimensions. This is Astro Boy. Now it may not look like Astro Boy, but it is. It's just really messed up. It was a 3D file that was made in Maya, a 3D CAD program, and we imported it into, well, we exported it from Maya. I had a friend, my friend James, helped me out. He's a good guy. He helped me export it out to an STL, and unfortunately, it came out like this. Not perfect. It did look a lot better than this, but at least we got the frame, so that's fine. That's all I really needed. I just kind of wanted the dimensions of Astro and to see, like, how big these things should be. So his upper leg section is definitely much shorter than the shin section that I was working on. So what we'll do is we're going to copy these. And we're going to see if we can scale them up to fit what the shin is right now. So go to the upper leg.
Maybe one day we can make the cartridge do something.
Oh, I didn't realize I was on the wrong screen, so let me transition over to here. I apologize for that. Maybe you could have seen a little bit of what I was doing over over my shoulder. What? Oh.
There's not enough really on this machine to need to want to keep for anything. The only concern I have with taking, I don't want to take a shield off because it looks like the shield is necessary for the piece.
Maybe I'll do this. So I'm going to transition
I think there's a screw or something holding this in.
to this view where you can see both what I'm doing on this screen and the Windows screen at the same time.
These go to
So Let me just go back here. I'm gonna paste in those pieces.
Some sort of other connector with wires.
So this whole part represents the shin. So we're gonna scale this up so we can get this to the proper scale, which is the upper leg.
I'd like to see that if we can get this board off.
So let's go back here just so I can show you quickly.
There are some grounds.
So this is what we started out with, Astro Boy.
So we do get to finally use that place.
And I made shapes and kind of put them on him to get the dimensions of what we need.
And now what else do we got?
So we started with the feet and we put the shins on there, and then, like I said, this is what the head looked like. Not super clean. So that's what I was talking about. The import from Maya wasn't perfect, but at least it gave us, some rough dimensions we could work with. So I took that and then I minused Astro and we created something called a frame. So this is just the shapes themselves.
There we go. Okay, what's over here? Oh, that's our
So that's him there.
connection over there, giving us that tissue. We take these out, it doesn't help us.
Okay.
We're left with this.
So let's go back to our upper leg
So we have to
and
remember the order in which these. Actually, we don't have to remember the order because we're not going to be plugging this back in. Okay.
give me a quick second here. I'm just gonna grab a drink.
Put Jenny's booze back. That's on my booze. Okay. Now, let's take the bottom of this thing off here. Oh, a little bit of glue. Interesting. So that's how we connect it in.
All right.
We put a stand out here.
Let's work on this a little bit.
Come up with a- Fine. Here's the speed.
Okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
keep those together.
So
And then I think we hit control and that will allow us to scale this.
connected this board from
Nope,
falling
it's
down.
shift. Shift.
Speaker
There.
on this side.
So if we get it close,
Goes like this.
what I'm really looking for is the height of this upper leg.
The whole reason
The width I already have with this portion. I already know that the circumference, what the radius and is,
for
but
the buttons to fit
yeah, it's the height that really matters here.
console is because it sits on that one raised area here.
Okay, pull this up a little bit.
The joystick connectors, and this area here, the speaker. There's nothing else holding it from falling down.
Oh, looks like our Windows computer is rebooting.
So that
Oh,
means
no, it just updated the video driver, and so it looks way better than it did before.
okay.
Much better resolution.
So let's take a look at this PCB and see what we're going to do here.
And what we really need is the auto drivers.
Conversation. We're deciding if we want to keep this PCB and
All right, I'll let that do its thing.
hack into the buttons. And by hack, I just mean solder wires to the buttons. So
I think I did trim down
connections.
that portion
And
of.
somehow in here fit a Raspberry Pi. Otherwise, we're going to have to remove.
Okay, let's try to. I think we'll have to increase the size a little bit more.
Solder these buttons to another PCB, like maybe two of these or one of these,
Try to get this a little more centered.
and then raise
And
it
then-
a little bit under here. Like that might be the right thing to do, because even though the power supply and everything is pretty neat to be able to maintain. How many volts again do we have out of that power supply?
Okay. So I think that gives us our height.
There are two outputs, a 15 volts and a 10 volt.
And then I'll just match. So let's delete that guy.
Big diode here.
53.
This diode is
So let's change that to 53.
gonna convert. Oh, yes,
53.
So there's
And let's also
power is most likely great.
align it with this.
Right, we're running it through. We're getting plus 12 volts
Okay, it's now aligned.
on the.
Really, now we can get rid of this whole section. Oh, looks like we need to do something with the computer. I want to restart now. Yes, why not?
DC.
Finish.
So the 5 volts.
Okay. Let's just put this here, just for aesthetic's sake. Dropped.
Maybe
No,
this-
not the blazing sword.
Maybe we get the power and. No, we're not going to use this board. We're not going to use this board. I don't
All right,
think
we'll
there's
put
enough
Astro
money
over here.
on the board.
Oh no, he's losing his legs.
So we're going to take all this apart. We don't need this.
Okay, here's Astro.
Okay, we're not going to use the original power supply. There's no advantage to that, so
Pull this forward a little bit. Looks like Astro PC is booting up.
switches off the board.
Yeah, I'll put Voltron a little further over like that. Alright, there we go. Okay, let's look at this upper leg portion. Excuse me. We can get rid of those pieces. We don't need them.
Just poking around again to take a look and
We don't
see
really need any of
if,
these.
there's
Well,
something-
actually,
something strange
we
happening.
could use these.
I don't
We could
want
bring them
to
up. I'll bring every one of them up and then shorten them all down at the same time.
hurt it.
So let's give that a shot.
Here we are sitting here talking right now about how we're going to hack this thing. I'm going to receive emails of people getting mad at me for doing so. But at the same time, there's an internal struggle with taking this board and cutting it up or modifying it. And what we could do if we really wanted is see, this is what I do with the Atari. All the I/O, okay, from the joystick, for example. Okay, it's all this I/O.
Okay, now we can pull all these up.
Is going to
We do want to
share.
bring them all down, pull them all up at the same time.
And these logic checks.
Okay, there's fine. Bring them up a little. Okay, cool.
Interesting.
So we actually need to
Wow.
bring this up a little higher. And also the leg needs to be kind of like the leg from
Huh.
Astro over here, where it has like a rounded,
It's
slanted piece like that.
Sorry, just looking at how they designed this. So
It's gonna have to be like that.
Central I/O controller.
And then there will be,
This is just a giant logic board.
I'm gonna have to map this out a little bit. I'm gonna have to look at my Easy Builder project and look where we're gonna have the servos.
Easy. Okay. So we're not.
We can actually draw it maybe. Maybe it'll be easier just to draw.
And carbon iron iron. Jeremy's gonna pass the solder sucker. Solder sucker.
Stat. Sorry.
Piece of paper.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the one.
This is a good one. Solder sucker.
All right.
Where's my electric solder sucker one day?
This is awesome. All right, we need to install a couple more drivers. We're not done with the driver installation. Drive F.
Boom, boom, boom. Siren iron. Okay. So there are
2 more files we have to set up, but they won't take as long as the first one.
Yeah, there's only 2 switches per, or 2 leads per switch. And then we have the resistors here.
Okay, so let's do a little drawing.
These are pull-ups. Well, you guys can't see here. Hold on. So these are pull-ups or pull-downs. It's going to, okay.
Gotta accept the terms again.
Outside this board.
Always forget.
That's because the outside rail is not a ground rail.
You guys are gonna be able to see my
Okay.
sweet drawing skills.
Oh, no, maybe
Okay.
it is. Oh, it is a ground rail. I was gonna say, maybe it wasn't.
Let's
That's
build
why I'm trying to avoid
Astro.
from touching it. But this is the ground.
Astro's head.
It was going to.
I might have to draw that a little darker for you guys, but I'm gonna do it lightly at first.
No, I was gonna say this might have been a.
So we'll do his torso,
On the outside edge, but it's not. It's ground. So this is a pull down then. So it's taking the signal and it's pulling down. So that's,
arm,
that's preventing it from having
upper arm, and
picking up noise.
lower arm,
Open latch. So
and
not that
that
it
looks
matters.
like we're done. Serve the driver installation.
Just use the internal pull downs with pull ups on the Arduino. So all I'm doing here is
Shin, and
that
feet.
solder from 1976. And taking the solder out. That's it.
Okay. Draw this a little darker so you guys can see it a little better. We'll do Astro's. There. We'll put some ears on him and do his classic
Something really
little sharp point for his hair. His little button nose, and we'll just do a little tiny mouth. Why not? Okay, so upper arm, forearm,
serious about it, too. So I will not be wiping my eyes and my mouth. You should warn me if you see me there.
What? You don't have any leaded solder over there, do you?
Oh, this is leaded solder, I'm sure of it.
I think I swapped it out. I think I gave you the good stuff.
Look what I'm doing. Look at the board I'm working on.
Oh. Yeah, that's inevitable, I guess.
This is not just lead, there's just asbestos in here.
Yeah,
There's
all the good stuff from back in the day.
heroin in here because it was good for pain.
Cocaine from the Coca-Cola spills.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. There's our Astro Boy.
Okay.
Now we got to figure out where the servos are going to go.
It should be loose enough.
So
Just loosen this up a little bit more.
we have one servo in the foot, one servo in the ankle,
Let's see. Give it some heat.
one servo up here for the knee. That connects those two portions together, upper and lower leg. We will have one servo coming down here, and then one servo
From its jail,
connected here.
from its home. Maybe because it feels a little
So those, I think those will be, these portions will be pretty close, much closer together.
maybe wasn't friends with them.
Okay, we're gonna have one servo in here for the shoulders, one and one right there.
Switches should feel excited. They're going to be
Yep, one servo here,
connected to
one servo here for your forearm and wrist. There'll be a servo inside here to make his hands clamp down, and then we'll have X and Y servos for his neck, so he can move his neck around just like a a normal robot can. And so we may have one servo here also to turn his body. We'll see. I've never tried that before, but Nomad has Nomad from the Synthium community has inspired me to maybe I should give it a try. If it doesn't work out, we can just remove it, so not a big deal. So that's going to be our Astro. So if you can't see where the servos are at, I'm just filling them in here. I guess there will be one in here, like a small one.
Okay, circuit board. You are no longer needed. Inside the center. So maybe someone might be restoring a proper
Okay, there we go.
Fairchild maybe on eBay.
Now
Maybe what I'll do is I'll put that on eBay.
we'll set that aside. That'll give us a good idea of how our robot's going to be laid out. This is kind of something we want to do when you're planning a robot. I kind of did it in Easy Builder, but it's a little harder to kind of see where your servos are at when you do it that way. So figured I'd draw a picture too, make things easier. Okay, let's finish up the driver installation here. It'll probably tell me to reboot. Excuse me. Oh, it didn't. Awesome. So let's go up a couple of folders and then install the last driver. Up I say. There we go. That's what we want. The LAN driver is the last one.
Left, which is 5, 6 positions. Then it's up and down, which is 8 positions. That means we need 16 I/O to be able to do that with an Arduino.
Oh, you could always go the analog route, like resistor.
4 ports is digital.
Resistor. Analog resistor route.
Oh, Jeremy's giving me some suggestions here. Let's count and see. I have a feeling that there's 15 I/O on these micros, but there might be 16. So the thing is TX0 and RX, are those connected to, they're not connected to the USB, are they?
Alright, so we'll get this installed. Okay. And we can continue on with our hack over on this side.
Let's see here.
So we'll need to poke a hole through here, just like in here. I wonder, let's just use this. Beauty.
So we have, without the RX,
Didn't realize that was still kicking around. That's pretty helpful.
ground, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So we will have to drop this down a little.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
I think,
Holy, is that right?
okay, that's good.
1, 2, 3,
And let's
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
drop this down and then pull it up.
15, 16. Oh my god, okay, this is perfect. So, we need one controller for both joysticks. Okay, those will be the joysticks.
Okay, so
Tell you one,
we can delete this now and we can drop this down.
Two joysticks, and we need to modify it for different positions, right? There's no buttons. So we'll have to look at the emulator too and see the emulator.
So we'll have to
And the other Arduino
bring that up there.
for
Perfect.
buttons on the display console.
Okay,
So there are.
so we'll bring this up a little more so it's, oops, that's not what I wanted. We'll bring this element up a little more so it's not cutting off anything else. Still has to cut out the bottom. So let's bring it down
Let's take a look at the PC.
tiny bit. There we go. That's what we need. Okay, now let's combine all these for the time being.
See how big this other board we have to make is going to be. I have a feeling
Beauty.
we'll end up doing
Okay, perfect. And so what we're going to need to do is
One of these boards is cut it
create
to make two.
that shape that I was showing you before,
That's the distance we need.
like that.
Spacing. You probably can't see, but
Kind of like,
here,
so this is the portion here that
so we're gonna put
is that flat portion, and then we're going to need like an angled portion. That's like,
going to be this long. It's gonna give us, and then we'll keep the other board.
I guess it's kind of like a cylinder shape.
Like that over here.
It's going to be like a diagonal cutoff of that.
Put this back. And I'll take a look at the joysticks.
So I can put a cylinder down, increase the sides again. 53 is what it was before.
We have connectors. So what I'd like to do, joysticks, is solder wires from
Okay,
PCB pins and just plug.
let's move this more into the middle.
Okay, so it'll be modular.
Okay, so we're
So
going to bring this up.
have any,
We're going to have to extend it after it's...
I have lots of paper clips. Just want to see if they fit. So let me go grab some.
Oh yeah, I guess I can change this to a 0.1. We'll make sure that these are lined up. We'll line them up.
Okay.
There we go.
This is a roll timer. Oh, I don't know about that. It doesn't feel like it's making a connection at all.
So I don't know how high we should go with this.
The reason for
I think
that
I'm just going to go like double the height.
the pins that this was plugged into are massive. So it might just
And then we're going to need something like a triangle
these need to be pushed in a little bit.
wedge. It's going to have to be a hole.
These need to be pushed in with my
Turn it 90 degrees.
covered in glue.
Make it much bigger than what it is right now.
Let's try that again.
A little higher.
Now,
And then we're going to have to tip this
let's use the voltmeter and just probe
like
this
so.
in a connection.
Oops.
Right?
And then we're going to have to
And
bring
once
it up.
this is mounted inside of the case, this is going to prevent it from moving around. So it's not like this is going to loosen up and fall out on its own. Although if it is upside down,
And cut it out like that. So this
tension.
triangle will have to go up a little further.
Oh. Try the voltmeter and find out.
Oh yes, we're going to have to make this much bigger. There we go. So I think we're going to cut it off
So, got our meter. We'll
like
push it
that.
to almost
That much
nothing,
probably.
And we'll push this button here.
We're going to have to go up a little more.
Just toss this to the side. And put this in the
Kind of like that. So let's
see if we get some beeps.
cut it like that.
Boys. That's a beep.
I forgot that we're going to need that element that was in the center of here. Oh, we can finish this up.
So I'm touching it very lightly just to see if
There we go.
it
So let's
requires a
reboot
bit
this
of push on it.
computer.
But it seems to be. Okay, let's pull it out a tiny little bit too and see if it's still the
Okay,
connection.
power. Restart.
Alright,
Okay.
so I'm comfortable.
We're restarting after all those drivers that we installed. So
Super comfortable with this. This is going to work great. So, one PCB will be for joysticks.
so we're going to have
And the
to
other
bring this
PCB
up a
will be
little bit
for,
higher.
The buttons. Now we're going to have to do.
There we go.
put a drilling
And let's also center it.
through these
Oops.
holes. So to start, we have to cut this thing in half. I'm going to use the Dremel with a wheel, cutting wheel disc, and I'm going to cut down the center, which is so on this.
All right.
It's going to be in that Chinese rolling. So
One thing I didn't really think about is
Slide over to the Dremel.
if I have to flip this 180 degrees because of where this thing.
I'm not cutting any plastic, but it'll be loud.
All right, prepare yourselves. Oh, it looks like I bumped my camera a little bit.
Do you have a marker over there?
Just a regular Sharpie.
Yeah.
I do want a thin Sharpie.
Oh, that's fine. I just have to mark the center of this and cutting.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't realize the camera moved a little bit. Okay. So, PC's up and running again. It looks like I have a volume. That's actually awesome. Oh yeah, because we never had this before. Beautiful. I think I will have to eject the USB and grab Easy Builder from my other PC. I'll eject that. I actually will eject both of them. We do not need
Alright. Here we go, everybody.
the other guy.
Cut.
We don't need this other guy attached either. So check both of those.
Just glue these two together. Let me check the distance to with the ground. Hold on. I'm going to create a template.
So I'm just gonna grab Easy Builder for my downloads.
It smells good. Old PCB cutting.
Good memories. Good memories.
Oxymoron.
I guess I can bring this back a little. There we go. Okay, so we got Easy Builder onto our thumb drive. Oh yeah, I can smell that PCB cutting now. Okay, and so we will install Easy Builder beta.
There we go.
Man, I'm so happy that it changed the screen resolution. The resolution before was so bad. Just do a complete install.
Perfect. Looks like they designed this using graph paper. It fits just perfect.
All right. We'll let that go for a second. And, oh, wait. Need to hit yes. There we go. And we'll go back and review this. So we need to make sure that all of our servo connections are on the correct side. We'll see. So, you know what? I think that's right. Because looking at Voltron right now, I can see that the screw portion is on the inside of the leg. So I think that that looks right. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select this and yeah, take that out so that I can use this guy to go right through that. And then Control A and combine everything. I have a feeling that these two pieces aren't going to be combined. Yep, didn't think so. So I need to drop. So let's undo what we just did. Drop this in a tiny bit. Okay, that's too much.
So we might be able to just cut it just like this.
Just want to see a tiny little bit there. Like that. Okay, we'll Control A, combine them again.
Do the same on this side.
There. That's looking much better. Alright. I guess we could have made these cutouts come all the way up to here. Well, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. It's not going to be that much weight. Okay, let's hit launch Easy Builder.
And then I'm going to use these pieces left over.
Finish that.
And put some glue on it and hold them together so that it becomes one.
It looks like we have some audio that we can also take from this
This is what we have to deal with today. Right inside.
this drive. So let's open up the music folder and drop some songs into it. Not now. So the Atomic Pi itself is not going to be able to drive servos, so we're going to use an EasyB connected to it, because an EasyB has up to 24 servos. We'll be using probably like 14 to 16 servos, so we'll need something larger like that. And the EasyB will connect to the Atomic Pi via UART or Wi-Fi. But for now, we'll probably just fool around with Wi-Fi. So let's close that for the time being. Just minimize this. We're going to transfer some music files onto this.
So we want to glue these two together.
So
And
let's Control A,
so we'll put them like this.
and then we want
And
to
then we know our spacing is going to have to be something like.
deselect some of these,
Now let's take a look at the.
if they'll deselect.
Sort of with the lid and just see how much room we have to work with. Just to make sure that we don't.
I think it's slowing down. It's having a hard time. I think I may have tried to open something up.
There's a leg right here.
So
we wouldn't be able to position this.
okay, I think now it's good.
This way, because in
So Control.
we're going to end up hitting the leg. So
There we go.
you want to be somewhere over
Deselect
here.
that stuff.
And the reason why this matters.
And then we'll select this stuff and move it into our music folder.
I want to space the switches out.
Okay, beauty.
And one switch takes 3 squares.
We can shut this down
So I'm
now.
going to grab a marker.
Let's power up our EasyB. Might get a little loud because of my noisy power supply, but we won't have it on for too long. Okay. So connect to the EasyB with
in the center between our
this.
circuit board that we're
There we go.
because that's how we do stuff here.
I'll probably select it to connect automatically once I choose a EasyB that I'm going to roll with. Right now, this one is just one that I have on my desk. Okay, while that connects, let's jump over to Easy Builder. We will add
According to
a control,
the amount of space we have, it looks like
audio,
touch each other. So when we glue this thing together,
audio.
we're gonna end up
Ugh,
with-
there we go. Soundboard
we
EasyB,
can make it so that the space of the glue is
and then let's add a sound file.
2 switches. We can do that. We can make it so it's ready. Cool.
Okay, go to music.
And that gives us a little bit of distance on this side for
Future chiptune, my favorite. Oh, darn. So I don't think we have the right
metal.
audio driver
Options.
built in.
Before we start gluing things together.
We can also do this. We can add the other soundboard and see if that works.
So a piece of PC.
Soundboard PC. We can use either of them.
And then we'll put a couple drops of glue on it.
Oh, that worked.
I'm gonna get glue on my fingers.
Oh, it says no driver calling ACM format suggest. So I'm guessing it's because I haven't done any Windows updates on this. That probably needs some of those things to be done, but we'll deal with that when we have an internet connection, which we don't at the moment. So let's shut down that power supply.
Because we are going to be attaching the edges together too.
And I think we'll shut this computer down. I'm trying to think if we need it for anything for the moment. I did want to see actually how much hard drive space we have left. Sorry, I guess it's not hard drive, it's solid state drive. Right, this PC, properties.
Just push on it for a second.
Yep, we had 2 gigs RAM. It's a 1.4 gigahertz processor, 64-bit operating system. That's not what I was looking for, actually.
Glue two circuit boards together because it's all we have. I have never.
Local C, properties. Well, I guess I could have just clicked on it. All right, right on. So there's only 11 gigs used. Free space 2.4.
That is an option right now.
So that'll give us enough space to do some Windows updates. I might ask DJ to see if he can do his like special tricks to get Windows.
Space?
No, just wondering if we can get even more space with the Windows N.
How much space do you need? How much space is free?
It's 2.4 gigs free.
What? That doesn't sound right. I have 4 on mine.
Oh well. Did you have to do any special Windows tricks to
Oh yeah.
get rid of install files or whatever?
So command prompt. There. As admin. And then go power. PowerShell is so slow. So you can make it so PowerShell isn't used anymore by going into the task manager or taskbar settings, sorry. And there's a button on here. Right here, replace, turn that off. Okay, so we'll launch command prompt. And then just go power CFG space -H off. And that turns off hibernation, which is a file the size of your memory.
Like 2 gigs?
Yes.
Holy.
So this PC.
It's a little further down. Oh yeah, there you go.
Huh.
400 megabytes more free.
That's not very much.
That's a decent amount.
We need Easy Builder on there?
I have it already on there.
Oh.
I just was thinking with Windows updates if they need that much space.
Oh, well, you don't want to do it now, but you can also do something called Windows Compact, where you can tell it to be a compact operating system.
Oh,
It
okay.
takes a really long time to do it, so you can set it before you go home tonight.
Sure.
You can do a Google search for compact Windows.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate that.
These are, look at that, I crazy glued 2 circuit boards together to make one.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
So I think this is the right
okay.
upper leg.
The other
So
thing
let's-
we do now is we have
Let's change that to right upper leg.
put these, right? Hopefully this doesn't break. I feel like it's strong. It feels good. Okay.
And so
My
we
green
can
glue in my left.
copy that. And we could make the left upper leg as well. New design. So what we'll need to do is
Okay.
paste this.
Screw stuff because we gotta screw some holes. We're going to put holes.
Okay, and we will have to
These are much bigger than the holes there. We gotta
take
put
this
them.
apart and we're gonna have to just swap that around. And that's all we'll need to
So
do.
I'm going to start from the middle.
Control A.
You know that this is where...
Combine. Just like, oh wait. Well, that didn't translate perfectly.
Right in the center.
So let's undo that. So
Try and mark it.
we will have to
And got the drill holes for the...
line it up with this guy. So
because otherwise things are going to be a little bit crooked.
there we go. It's a little better, I think. Control A, combine.
So you guys have a hard time seeing what I'm seeing. Don't worry.
Well, definitely has this weird line here. I wonder if I have to raise it up a little bit. I think it may have dropped down. So let's
Things are pretty standard, okay?
undo that.
It looks like it might be fine.
Oops. We want to change our grid to 0.1.
We just have to find a drill bit that's the right size.
Okay. I think we're just touching there.
And let's see.
Let us combine.
This one? Looks close, right? Close.
So,
This one. No, I'm sure.
let's undo.
Okay, let's go with this one first, just to see. Better be smaller than bigger.
I'm trying to think here. I don't think I'm...
Sweet.
You know what? I don't think... I think this is going to be the exact same on each side. Come to think of it, I think it's just going to be just like the shin. Because I'm going to rotate it around, and this will be on the inside again. So, I don't even need this.
Alright, here's some packing material.
So, I guess I could delete this whole thing. I don't know if, have I ever tried that before? Oh, so let's just look at this for a second.
I think it's because we were trying to drill through the part that we had.
I think it's going to be the same on each side if I'm correct. So if we look at it this way, it's the right leg. Yep. And then if we flip it around and look at it this way, it's the left leg. Yeah, okay. So it's the same piece on both sides. So we just need to call it upper leg. Beauty.
This option is not working very
Okay,
well.
and so we can delete this one.
Maybe.
Perfect. So the shin will be the same way. It'll be able to be used for either leg. The foot is different, but legs are the same. And then, yeah, we can start working on
the top and bottom.
the waist section.
Do you guys want to try that?
So I will copy this.
Okay, let's do it. That broke off way too easy. That wasn't going to last. Okay, so we have some headers here.
And we'll go to new design.
Let's split this in half. So what we can do is we can just go a row of headers here. And that can attach to...
Okay, so we can drop this a little down. What we really want is just this angle here. One thing I forgot about is that we will need a bracket in here to interface with the servo that will be coming
in order to make this
down to this
fit
section.
better, we're going to have to trim this down a bit. So let me go.
So if we look at our Astro Boy, there's going to be a double servo section right here. One will be coming down. Okay. And then one will be coming up just like the Shin servo where we had one coming off the top. We'll have to have the same thing on this thing. So you know what? Let's just work on the other design for the time being. We'll go back to the upper leg in a little bit here. So I think the easiest way to do this is to use some spheres.
There we go. The longest part of this whole project is silly, is that right?
Oh yeah, I guess we'll get rid of this for the time being. Let's go back to Astro and the Astro frame. So we're going to try to get our scaling properly. So we'll need one of those, and we'll need the waist section. So let's copy that.
There we go. Put this back in.
Go back to
I just would have thought this through first.
a sizzling dupe bald.
I wouldn't have had to
That's funny.
be building a single PCB out of two PCBs.
Astro waist.
There. Oh, that looks nice.
Okay, so we'll paste our perfect. So
Flat. But we want this to be.
we'll scale that up so that this is roughly the size of this, and then that will give us our waist section, which will be this guy. So let's scale you up. Shift.
Easy. And then I'll just, on the bottom side, solder this
Looks like
on.
we're going to have to scale it up a little more.
So, this is attempt number 2 on making a single PCB into 2 PCBs back into 1.
Sounds like an adventure.
Oh my gosh, this is nuts. All because I don't have a PCB big enough to do this.
Oh,
Like it's not long enough,
yeah.
so I cut it in half.
Oh man.
Oh man, these things solder garbage. It's like this fake China copper.
Alright, I think we got the size we need.
China copper.
Okay, so delete that. We don't need that. We will need this, and we'll convert this into a hole, actually. Oh, darn it. Okay. So we'll bring this upwards. It's an interesting song that DJ's created. It's fake China copper.
Fake China copper. What actually are you? Probably something rare and.
So we're gonna try to get this like a cutout, kind of like that. But we will do it exactly like this. So we're gonna follow the shape of this. We're gonna leave a little bit of, you know, your classic buttocks sticking out the end.
This is so funny. Okay, so our hole
And
is here.
we can probably turn this computer off.
Big enough for it.
We do not need it for the time being.
Those are going to be much smaller holes. Those are going to be like maybe this.
Power down.
Yeah, this one.
So we'll need to do some Windows updates on this thing after we can connect it to the internet. I can't for the time being, but we'll do that later. And since we won't be kind of looking at this view for a little while, we will switch our views so you can have a full screen view of what I'm doing on here. Alright, so here, I'll bring this in a little closer. And let's work on the 3D design.
Where this needs to go.
Alright. So I think this is going to be one of the more challenging pieces because I haven't really done this kind of shape before. I think I will likely start off with a sphere. As many steps as we can, I guess.
How much easier this would have been if I just would have had proper supplies, you know? Sitting inside of a building, you wouldn't believe, put that in the wrong one, the amount of electronic components we have in this place. Electronics and everything. But we just don't have PCBs because we make our own. And then on a computer, then we send them to a factory and they make them for us. So,
Oh, did I tell you the bad news?
what?
I don't think I did.
No.
APC is no more.
APC, Alberta Printed Circuit Repair, or circuits, whatever,
Yes,
they closed down?
they closed down.
Oh man, Canadian economy,
I know.
garbage land.
There's not enough oil companies doing really well at the moment.
That's really too bad.
Yeah, it is. It's very sad for me.
The company that we get all our PCBs made as prototypes. Look at that. Fit perfect. Now we just wait for the rest of the switches. So.
Alright, how am I going to make these equidistant to each other? We'll combine these, I guess.
We'll keep this here because we need it.
And then
Okay, so now we
we'll just go
do
you
the
and
same.
you align.
Marking holes to be drilled.
Alright. I think that gives us a pretty decent shape to work with. Really, we just have to have like the skeletal structure and then we can fix the rest in post, as they say. Fix the rest with the silicone mold that's going to go on top of them.
Be too close together because we have to worry about our buttons. How close our button's going to be.
Alright.
So we're going to try this out first.
So we will have to make some spots where the servos can fit and get bracketed in.
Yeah, those are going to be way too close.
And then we will need to do up at the top here. I think it will have to be a little flatter than what it is.
See, that's a spacing I would love to have.
So
I just worry that that's not going to be.
I think I will add.
It's going to be too much. I worry it's too much space.
You know what? You know what I could do? I could do this. We could.
Too bad that these.
Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna undo that, and then we're gonna copy one of these, paste it.
Standard.
We're going to make it much flatter, and then we're gonna put that at the top.
Okay, I know where that needs to go.
So
That, which is this one.
we will align those.
And once I have that
Oh.
full done, then I
Align.
can
Okay.
The only sad thing is, it looks like it's a little high compared to
Okay.
the
Perfect.
other one.
So we're gonna drop this down a little. Okay. Yeah. And then then we'll Control A. Let's combine all that. There. So we want it flatter at the top because we will have a belt that will go around here that will meet up with this portion.
Okay.
So we want it to be fairly square so it can meet up nicely with the belt. Alright, so we're going to have to get some servo brackets that we can kind of attach into here. And we also have to work on the upper leg a little more because I forgot about the servo bracket that we need inside of it. Okay, so let's go. Tinker this. Actually, I think I tinkered the wrong thing. We need to go to the shin and grab that piece. Or, you know what? Let's just import. I never even thought about that.
Maybe I should put some solder on the bottom of these switches while I have them here, just so that it's easier
Import.
to line up as we
Choose
go.
a file.
Do that.
I think we put it on the desktop, did we not? Yes, there it is. This is the part we
This will
need.
make it easier just to line them up.
It's going to be interesting to see how big this is comparative. Oh, it's actually a little smaller than I expected, his waist. Okay, so let's bring this up 90 degrees.
All these will be the lob of it, so it holds it in
It will
place.
be upside down.
Tests today.
180. Oops. Negative 180 is what we want, I believe. Yes, there we go. And then we will have to turn this around one more time. So if you turn on the inside of the circle, it'll go by 15 degrees, I think, or 22.5 degrees. If you go on the outside, it'll go by 1 degree. Alright, so we'll move that in. It's going to have to stick out a little bit, I forgot. This portion has to be accessible. So I'll drop that down. Move it on in. I don't know what I just did, but we will Control Z that. Control Z as we call it in Canada.
No, we don't. We call everything Control Z.
You call it Control Z?
Quit lying to people.
I just said it for the first time, Control Z. I usually say Control Z.
Okay. Now we just keep adding switches.
Alright. So what we could do,
It gets a little bit easier.
squish
now that
this
we-
down a little.
Let's start going this way because we don't want to go too far this way because we know that.
No, we don't want to do
space
that.
on this side.
Undo. Control Z.
You decide.
I think we'll bring it down a little bit, but then we'll make a portion right here, a box that connects. We'll bring it down. Yeah, about there. This will have to be the same on the other side. This may have to be adjusted to be a little wider.
It's so weird finding where these need to go.
And there's only one way I can try.
They're just on a weird
test
angle
that.
compared to
We will have to tinker this.
any other, like all the holes on here. Right? They're just such a different angle.
Copy that. Let's go back to the waist.
There we go. Okay. Got one here.
Okay, let's paste this in. Bring it down. Over. No, I said over. Okay, well, depending on where we position this.
Found one.
I think it'll be likely in the center. I think that will likely be fine.
This is the second eye here.
This might end up having to be a bit bigger than what it is. Seems a tad bit small compared to the upper leg. So this will likely be
Okay.
dropped down as well.
Drill some more holes.
It'll actually be probably much further down. Just thinking about this a little more. We could bring this up
Screw gun is
because
not very happy with me.
we can fit the servo
This one?
under this lip and in here, no problem, as long as this is accessible.
Okay.
I think that is fine. Yes,
Cool.
it's going to be fine.
Looks good.
So that this can come up
Button
much
there.
further.
And let's put some glue underneath it. By gluing and soldering. And bringing it
Okay,
over
so
to it now.
I'm going to have to add that bracket to this guy so we can see where everything lines up.
And it's the rolling walls.
Oh, weird. I think I stretched that out by accident.
And then I end up with this amazing, awesome board we built, but not being able to use it.
Well, we'll delete that for now. Let's just see if I paste it back in, if it's still all weird.
See?
Nope, that's circular. Good.
Cool. Okay. Now we'll continue the buttons going this way. And then we can do our last button over here.
So I think the key to this, to make it look good, is we're going to have these two pieces as close together as possible. So we'll have to work on that. And then this will be centered with this. So let's just do that for the moment. Align with you. There.
Okay. So drilling some more holes again.
So actually what I can do is import a piece that, I'll go to my recent designs. I have to go back to designs from my gallery. And there's a Voltron piece that I have that fits in there quite nicely.
Put this in there.
Don't remember what page it's on, but it's going back a little ways.
There we go.
The days that I worked on Voltron. There, this is what we want. Okay, tinker this. I think we're working on the right side. Yes, we are. So this should work. Copy that. Let us go to the waist. Control paste. Okay.
And
So
last but not least, this guy right over here. So
ugh, didn't mean to do that. Undo that. We need to turn it 90 degrees. Perfect. So, oh. Clicking on stuff by accident. So we'll take this.
All right.
We'll be dropping it down.
Let's see where this needs to go.
So that it meets up with this guy. So let's just move this guy out of the way. So we'll have to go up a little ways. And over.
Just like this.
Still has to go up a little more. There. So that's how it'll go. So you'll notice that this is running right into that. So we'll have to take this and move it forward a little more.
There we go, guys. The last switch.
Just till it has enough clearance.
There
we go.
Switch. Yeah. Good, no switches.
And that kind of lines up with the front,
This
which
side goes,
is,
so it's a side of
oh,
it.
let's see if we can square it up.
Shake the side around.
So
Shake, shake, shake.
yeah, it'll come out a little bit. So we will have to add something to hold this bracket here and up here.
Go. And switch like
And so this guy,
that. And we'll just do the same thing
Drop
as the
down.
others. Put some solder on here so it doesn't fall off.
so it will meet up with the center of that. So we have to put one of these brackets down in here.
Figure out what we're going to do next.
So that's kind of what it's going to look like.
Big globs aside.
Seems like it's definitely quite a bit of space between those two portions. I wish I could tighten it up a bit.
Buttons. I don't remember the order they went. Maybe it was like.
Possibly could.
Are these square or not? Yeah, they are square.
If we
I keep feeling like there was like a.
brought those two
height.
spheres and brought them up a little higher, we could get this servo tucked into the body a little more. 'Cause we still have about
So.
this much
Feels
clearance.
like it's, the board's like a little bit wobbly magoo. So. Probably.
This one is gonna be a little tricky with its clearance. Doesn't look like there's too much on either side of there.
Probably gonna want to reinforce
Definitely all kinds of clearance over on this side, but
another.
on that side, no. So actually, I never thought of it, but
Right? And we'll probably
let me just select this one.
That way when you push
Maybe we
down,
want it on the
you
outside.
know, bounce. Monkey jumping on the bed. You don't want that. So
Yeah, maybe we want to do that on the outside.
cool. Just make sure it fits in the thing.
Kind of like that.
Because according to our this, it's a little bit too big. So I'm a little worried.
We might bring the legs too close together, though. That's the only thing. We could move these outwards
So
more.
Am I worried or not? Depends.
Tricky,
Depends,
tricky,
everybody.
tricky. It's definitely a
If the buttons
challenging
stick up,
design here.
if they stay down like this, let's see here. How much room do we have to play?
Alright, I need a bit of a break here. I'm gonna get some water. Be right back.
It all depends on how high it's going to set up. If the buttons are recessed more, then we're good. Depends how high I want them to go. Because no matter how we like it, as close as we can get them together, because of the holes that are on this board, that's as close as we can get them together. They're just like just the tiniest little bit too much. Too much. So one option might be, like I mentioned, is just bring them up higher. Like this. Then they sit flush with it. Man, that just looks silly. Looks like an elite track player or something. So that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna put them down lower. Just gonna think a little bit about this first. I wonder if we would have put them this way instead of lengthwise this way. Right? We went vertical instead of horizontal. Because we tried to copy what was on the board, on the original PCB. And of course the original design was, I mean, there was no, you saw the board, there was no CAD system that used predefined hole widths and everything, other than for the sockets. But the placement of everything was wherever the hell they wanted to put it. So, on that note,
Alright, and I'm back.
think about this for a minute.
I gotta do a little bit more thinking myself about this placement. I think I'd like to have the legs a little out more. But I'm gonna restrict the amount, let the leg move by putting it inside of that cavity there.
Just worried that they're so close that they rub up against the edge there. And the middle ones are fine.
I'm gonna have to make a bigger cavity for this, sink that in a little further, just brings everything up.
I'm wondering if the solution would be to take these switches off.
Which is good for this
3D
side.
print something that holds the switches in place, so that the plastic that goes around it, they would just insert.
Which we just need really a cutout for right here.
Okay, that is most likely the best solution for this.
So let's trim the height of this. We'll make it about the same width as
You also want to
this.
too. I mean, you could
It doesn't have to be
use
that.
a piece of something that's plastic and cut it. And that way it saves us some time. I
Okay.
really like the idea of 3D printing, because then what we can do is we can have it with standoffs and everything. It can be all built all together as one.
Okay, we'll take
So
that.
that's the
Let's
thing I
move
wanna
you
I wanna
way
do
up
this.
here.
Okay, since we have to wire the
Let's
joysticks
see if
up
we can.
and everything, why don't we design it on the 3D print on my other computer? I'll bring my other computer in here, plug it in, and then we can design
And then we'll bring this
the
up a little
parts
higher.
for it, have those print, and while they're printing, we can code up and wire up the
So we'll combine those to make that
joystick
cavity.
PCB. Alright, let's do that. Because, yeah.
I think that cavity is a little smaller than I'd hoped. I'm gonna make it a tiny bit bigger
A little bit. So,
and a little bit deeper.
let me clean up a little bit.
Okay,
and then
so
grab
we'll
my computer,
undo.
because it has SolidWorks on it. And we'll draw it up.
So make that a little bit wider.
I'm just gonna clean up my desk because I've got every tool in the world on it.
Oops. Undo that.
All the tools.
Let's bring it down a little. Okay.
Okay.
And then let's just make
here's our little template. So we know this is the template we have to follow within, right? And like we we're just off.
Okay, I think that'll be fine.
By that much.
Let's bring that up.
One switch. One switch. Just remove the switch. So move my Arduino over here. And
Okay, I think that's going to be good.
one of these switches off.
So we'll take these. We're going to rise them up.
We don't need these anymore.
Rise it up. Back on the street. It's very weird not having music, actually. Not used to this. When I don't have music, I start singing myself. Sing to myself.
I like it when you sing to yourself.
I'm not sure if my audience likes that very much.
That's the only reason they come. So I did the silliest thing, but at least I tried. I tried making a PCB.
Yeah.
Other PCBs, and that didn't work.
No.
That's okay.
And then I'm gonna tell you, oh, you mean this long PCB that I've had in my box for?
You know what? Even if you had one, it wouldn't work because the gaps for each of these switches they're not even like a standard footprint
Oh, weird.
of any sort. Well, not so weird when it was 1976.
I guess. So I guess we won't have access to some of these screws here. Could be a little tricky.
I'm just heating the solder up.
Might have to make some holes in his butt. We'll see.
Banging it off so the solder just falls off onto the table. It's really
So this doesn't have to be that deep, as deep as I made it. So we can
there. Okay.
undo that for a quick second.
So
And
let me go grab the computer and
let's bring it down.
We'll design and then 3D print these switches. BRB.
Okay, I think that will be fun. Combine those.
Oh, I have to make sure I don't have SolidWorks on this computer, because maybe I do. So
Yeah, it looks
I do.
fine.
Nope, I have files called SolidWorks. Okay, right back.
Alright, so that's good. I kind of sunk that in a lot more. We still need a connecting piece back here to make that a little more solid. We'll probably need some holes so we could mount those screws. And the holes will have to go all the way through to the behind, which is going to look a little weird, but oh well. We'll have skin over it. So this is just the frame. So we'll have to replicate this over on the other side. Then we will have to figure out what we're going to do with this guy, which is going to be a challenge. What I want to do is put it on the inside like that.
Let me give it some power.
Bring it up.
We're going to run SolidWorks. Let's finish the program.
Something like that is what I want to ideally go for. And it's, yeah, like I said, it's going to limit us in the range over on this side of the bracket.
Give this thing some power.
But
need a mouse.
I don't know if we need that much range because this isn't the knee. The knee is down here, and that's the most.
This connector, power connector. It's most ridiculous. It's like somebody from Microsoft saw.
I could just make a slit right here.
And they're like, oh, this is so good.
And this could pass through it.
Just like we did with Windows RT.
I think,
Just like we did with
yeah, I think
Windows
that'll
8.
work actually. If I just make a slit
Apps full screen.
after this is made, and I think that'll work fine.
Copy an Apple. If they owned an Apple, they would have known how difficult it is.
Okay, so let's, while we're here, let's add a box piece inside of there. Doesn't need to be that thick. Doesn't need to be all that tall. Well, actually, yeah, it may need to be a bit tall. That's a good width actually. So we'll put it in here, and we'll rise it up. Back on the street. Take my time, take my chances. Okay, I need to bring it back a little more so it doesn't interfere with the inside of the servo. I guess, yeah, let's align it to center it with this actually.
Is there some sort of weird inch number here? 0.65 of an inch. Is that a thing? What do you guys call that? 1,000 jizzle thing?
Whizzle dizzle.
Whizzle dizzle. And this is 11.5. Okay. So that's good.
Okay.
Let's take a look at our
There. We've made it all one piece. I will have to separate them so I can put the pieces on the other side as well.
And let's see how close our template is.
Now the only thing that's going to be tricky is to figure out
So we want
how I can get this in the exact same spot as that.
our thing to be the size of the template. Because we know based upon the template's built
So let us
so as long as it's spaced out,
take that apart.
we should be fine. So all we have to do
We're also going to have to take
is,
this apart one more time.
because remember the buttons
So we need,
stick out a little bit from the switch.
I think I know what to do. So let's copy
But the buttons are a little wider than the switch itself.
those two pieces together.
You can check that.
Let's paste
Button
those together.
is 18.3.
We will
And you can see the switch isn't even touching it.
align
Switch.
those pieces to this piece.
17.
We will
So I know it doesn't sound like much, but that's enough. It's enough that if we made
grab one of those, one of these, flip it around.
let's just make sure.
Okay. Yes. Beauty. Ugh. Where did our other one go now?
How much room we have here for these.
Okay, well, let's undo that, undo that. Okay.
Starting to get loosey-goosey here. There we go. Loosey-goosey. Hold on. See?
Oh, that's what. Well,
That
let's
just leaves us just a tiny
flip it
little
right
bit on the
here,
other side.
and then
Oh, this is nice.
align it with this.
Cool. Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
dough.
I know what we need to do. Let's
We need to combine these first.
kitchen some stuff. Ooh, too many things on the face here. There we go. So this is
Combine.
a 4K screen. I've ever seen SolidWorks with a 4K screen. It's not happy. Complains. But because Windows also, Microsoft was like, I don't know, they wanted to change the resolution so it's like a
Oops.
higher screen and wide. Just unfortunate because if you plug this into a monitor, you end up with black lines on your side of the screen. So doing things like PowerPoints and stuff.
Okay,
okay,
let's see which one it deleted. The wrong one.
So let's just go.
Okay, we need that one.
And let's sketch.
What we can do is just set the grid to 1.
Just a thing
Move
like
this
that.
one over 1.
And we'll make some dimensions on this.
Select this one.
And our
Delete it. Select this one and move it back over 1.
It's going to be based on the width of
Oh,
this.
deleted the wrong one. Beautiful.
Okay. So 95, we'll say.
Okay, let's try this again.
And then
Align these.
this part. It could be as wide as you want, so let's just go.
Okay.
Let's go 24.
Delete.
24.
Yes, I deleted the right one. Beauty.
There we go.
Okay.
And now let's turn this into.
Seems like it's not selecting the right.
We'll make it.
There we go.
So this is going to plug
Combine.
into. So when we want.
There, cut out there, cut out there. Beauty. That's what we wanted.
Right here.
Okay.
So you want the deep width of that. So it fits in there fine.
Copy these together.
Not very,
And then
not really very thick. It doesn't have to be.
paste
That'd be nice.
and mirror
So it looks like
along
it's
this
like
axis.
1.5. So 1.5 millimeters.
Well, that didn't work like I expected it would.
Not gonna be very thick.
Undo. Okay, paste.
You're gonna probably want to put
So those
a bunch of
two,
supports on it. So
and then we want to
it's
mirror.
not gonna be very thick at all.
That's what we want, yes.
There we go. And then now we just want to put a sketch on top of here.
Somehow
Thing
it got rose up a little bit.
is
I don't know why.
but we'll say 11 and a half.
Okay. So we'll align it with this one.
That's pretty tight. Think about 3D printing, right? You never want
Oops.
everything to be the exact size you say it's going to be.
What I needed to do is combine these first.
Let's do that.
I did forget this
We're
portion,
gonna go this way.
but we can put that in after. Combine. Okay.
11.
Align with this guy.
Oh my gosh, because it's a full 4K, I always put this in the wrong place. Actually, you know what, let's delete this. Let's
There we
make
go.
this a center rectangle. That way we can center this with this after. So we'll just do 11.6, and then our width in this case is, we'll say 16.7.
Let's change our scale here. Bring that out so you can just see it. There you go.
This centered and this centered.
Okay.
There we go. That.
Connect all that up.
That. What's going on? Why are we not?
Oh,
Well, there is no center.
It made it red. Interesting. Oh, we do need that as well. So let's undo that for a moment. So we will need you,
There.
you, and you, and this whole thing
Yes.
together.
Cool. Now we can.
Yes, okay.
We can do a couple things here. We can copy this sketch, and we can just duplicate it, right? We can do it.
Okay, we have our waist. Sort of.
So you select it, and then you go into.
One thing that I hadn't really thought about is the waist servo. If we do want to make a waist servo, it will likely have to go right in this section here,
No, sketch tool.
because we can't have it.
Whole bunch of
Let's say if this way was vertical, we can't have it horizontal because it'll run into these brackets likely.
4, 5 buttons, right? Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, Yes.
Okay, so
You want 5
I
of them.
think that's fine. Oh, something I didn't really realize here is that we will have to make a cutout here.
And our
I
space.
realized we are free right in this area.
That's between.
Oh, we also need a little bit more space actually in this area too, so we can snap this on.
Let's try 15,
Otherwise, it won't fit.
17.
We can come at an angle maybe and pop it on.
18 looks good.
Yeah, I think at an angle it'll likely be able to get on there, so that should be fine.
So remember our width. We made our width the width of this. So.
But yeah, we will have to expand the range over on this.
Down is not done this yet. Instead.
So we will have to do that.
Like this.
I think I will.
They should actually be
I think I might call it quits for this evening.
They're in the center. So then when we do our linear, we go out.
I think I've gassed out on how much I want to do. I think we've done pretty decent. I still need to put a connector in here. Make that all function.
Again, apologies, I'm not capturing the screen, right? Because I'm on a different laptop.
I'm glad that this is out a little bit more for the legs. I didn't want them too close together in here, so we can have some more dynamic. Oh, sorry guys, some more dynamic movement. If you have them too close together, it's pretty difficult for the legs to go inward. But yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that for the time being. Like I said, this is all like the skeletal structure, so don't have to worry about too much about aesthetics yet. We'll worry about that probably at the end. But we're working from the bottom up. We got the feet done. We got the shin complete. The upper leg we have to do a little bit more work on, and we're at the waist. And so, nice part is working on the legs as well as. I guess if you make one leg, you've made them both. So that's the nice part where these parts are pretty congruent. Can be used on either side. Then the legs will actually be fairly close to the arms as well. They'll be sort of in a similar fashion because, yeah, the arms will be, it'll look a little different than this, but similar in the clips that they'll have, similar where in positioning where they'll be. The upper arm isn't as long as the forearm, so it'll just kind of be like the legs. So we'll scale them a little bit differently, but they will be similar in design. The chest will be, I guess, the next part after we finish all those pieces. And I'll try my best to make it a little bit tapered. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably use say like a paraboloid or something to that effect to do this portion, and then we'll do like a rounded rectangle on the top of it, kind of like what I'd used here. We'll give his butt a little bit more shape probably eventually, but yeah, that looks pretty flat, pretty weird, but it's getting there. So I think, yeah, like I said, that's going to be it. Thanks for joining and watching me go through this process. I guess we'll hopefully see you next week with maybe we'll do part 3 of Astro Boy, or maybe we'll do something else. I'm gassing out. I'm done. I'm fading away. So I can only do so much 3D design without touching any hardware. So.
That's where I am right now.
Yeah. You just started. I've been doing this for like a few hours now. All right, but yeah, like I said, we'll thanks for joining, and we'll see you again hopefully next week.
Same guy squeezing in those
Might be Astro Boy, but it might be something else. We'll see how it goes.
So now let's
All
make
right.
a cut.
Have a great weekend. See ya.